Austraeoh by Imploding Colon, read by Deathlight. Chapter 18, Vast. The Grand Choke, they call it. Red Turnip said as he gazed over the crackling embers of the campfire. All ponies west of it know that it was once a home to an ancient race of equines. What ponies east of the Grand Choke named the place, nobody knows, because no single living thing has been known to cross it. It is a grand desert, full of indescribably large creatures, and beasts that could swallow a grown stallion whole. Rainbow Dash and the many members of the caravan sat, listening as the full spread of night descended above. Ironhoof and several others had already given in to slumber. Fulltrot had donned a pair of spectacles, and was writing something in a tiny journal about the day's progress. Across the way, Sunplay was examining several packs of supplies. There was a village lying west of the Grand Choke, and the ponies who lived there are said not to surpass 40 winters. It's as if a pestilence is carried westward on the sandy winds. Red Turnip uttered, his eyes flaring as he relayed these unsavory details. Why they stay there is any pony's guess. The traders describe them as a somber clan of equines. Quite possibly they're the descendants of the ancient civilizations that once called the Grand Choke home, and they stay in such a nasty place as some part of a time-honored duty. But what could be worth guarding in that arid wasteland? Could it be treasure? A magic tome with the key to immortal life? Every adventurer who attempted piercing the landscape has not come back alive. Those who are wiser and wish to keep their lives intact know they travel far south, wider and wider. If some pony doesn't go into the heart of that desert and steal what dark essence empowers it, then maybe, in a far distant future, even these lands will be covered in arid light. Several ponies muttered at the end of Red's utterance. Ironhoof suddenly revealed he wasn't as asleep as the others assumed. That was the most epic sample of boulder dash I have ever had the poor fortune of being exposed to. Several chuckles. Red Turnip munched on the last piece of meat and smirked at him. That's because you don't know how to shut your ears to something about being awestruck about. I've been to the edge of the Grand Choke. It's not a pleasant place. I'm thankful to return home to the slopelands on a yearly basis. There are things far east from here, at a grand distance from the Sun Goddess. The only wish is to consume souls of immortal wonder. You speak as if there's nothing worth being frightened about. Ironhoof turned over where he was lying and squinted through the fire's aura. Grand plumes of smoke come from inside the Forbidden Mountain. Rumbling noises of things from the deep. There are more things lying in wait beneath the surface of our homelands than we would have a pleasure ourselves to know. That's how you sleep at night, Ironhoof? You don't shut up long enough for me to find out, Red. Several more chuckles. Rainbow's lips curved slightly. She heard a voice from behind. The dramatize about travel because they've only done so little bit. Rainbow Dash turned and blinked at Full Trot, the elder paused scribbling in his journal. None of them has really seen much of the world. Not really. I've traveled far more than all these brazen colts combined, and even I don't have much worth sharing. The way I see it, you can't convey the glory of the vast world through words any more than through gestures. Ponies have to truly see the diversity of the realms beyond the slopelands for themselves. Those who barely pierce such immensity must make up for it with stories. Rainbow smiled. The stories can be fun. To give in to imagination is an unbearable touch of foolish excitement. Fulltrot nodded. But once you've been everywhere, I mean truly everywhere, exhaustion encompasses any and all enthusiasm. Want to tell them that? Rainbow motioned towards the group. I think it burst their bubble. So long as they expect the world to surprise them, it makes them do their job better. Otherwise, they'd be exactly where I wish to be. Where's that? Home, child. Fulltrot gazed at her. Some of us are sane, you know. She didn't directly respond to that. Fulltrot didn't expect her to. Imagine you need a secure place to retire this evening? Not a bad idea. You're welcome to stay by the fire. You'd help build it after all. How about your caravan? Rainbow Dash asked. Where will you be heading in the morning? Oh, you don't need to concern yourself with our journey. Fulltrot said. Our proceedings would seem rather dull to your standards. You don't know who you're talking to. Rainbow Dash smiled. I live to improve dull things. He squinted at her. His aged lips curved slightly. Very well, if you're so inclined, we'll be picking up an hour before sunrise. If it doesn't interrupt your journey, We'll be heading due east towards Windthrow. Heading east, huh? Rainbow Dash looked across the firelit camp. She saw Golden Plate yawning, his body stretching in a less than graceful manner. He glanced aside at Rainbow, furrowed his brow, and immediately turned towards the wagons. Rainbow Dash took a breath and glanced at Fulltrout again. She spoke above the murmuring ponies in the background. I can totally do east.